Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our workshop on shaping the future of skills in the district heating and cooling sector. We are very glad to have you with us today. My name is Connie Okando. I am project officer at Heat and Power, and also I am the manager of the DHC Academy project and responsible for dissemination and communication for the Skills4DHC project. Let me walk you through the agenda for this interactive session. We will kick things off with a brief introduction to the DHC Academy project and also to the Skills4DHC project. We will be followed by the insights from the Skills4DHC key findings on the existing skills gaps in the sector. You will then have a chance to participate in a quick interactive poll, helping us to better understand your views and experiences. You will be followed by an open discussion where we will interpret these skills needs together. We will then take a closer look at the focus areas of the DHC Academy before another short poll to capture your input. The second half of the session includes a discussion of how to shape the DHC Academy curriculum. We will wrap things up with a final poll on your expectations and hopes for the future, and we will be finishing by 11:30. Now, please also let me to introduce our speakers and facilitators. I already introduced myself, and now I'm going to introduce Matteo Pozzi. He is a work package leader in the DHC Academy project, and he is the general manager of Optic. We have also here Dominic Ruiz, he's the coordinator of the Skills4DHC project and is head of the Biomass and Bioeconomic Unit at WIP. And Christian Remerstorfer, that he is a science researcher at AEE, the Institute for Sustainable Technologies. So all of them bring expertise in district heating, skills development, and innovation, and will be guiding us through today's discussion. So let's start. So to get the stage, let's start with the why behind today's workshop. A recent article from the European Climate Infrastructure and Environment Executive Agency underlines a growing concern regarding the lack of skilled workers that is becoming a critical bottleneck in the EU's clean energy transition. Also, while we know that this transition to the sustainable energy systems is urgent, it can't succeed unless we also address the skill gaps. So the European Commission has made very clear that we must invest in upscaling and reskilling the workforce to meet the demand of this transformation. Please, I ask you to turn off your micro at this point. Thank you. So this is where Erasmus Plus and Life Clean Energy Transition come in. So these funded initiatives aren't just about technology or infrastructure. They are also designed to support the development of skills and knowledge that we need to make the transition possible. So today's workshop is not just a meeting, it is part of a broader strategic effort to respond to that challenge. So together, we will explore what skills are needed, where their gaps are, and how DHC Academy and Skills4DHC can help to close them. So Skills4DHC and DHC Academy projects address the two sides of the same coin. That meaning that we have the same purpose, but the way we want to achieve our purpose is slightly different. So Skills4DHC is the skills, qualification, and recruitment of professionals for the district heating and cooling sector. And DHC Academy focus on the green and digital skills for a smart district heating and cooling sector. In this slide, we want to explain why we, as DHC Academy, why we act, what is our purpose, how we will achieve our purpose, so meaning our strategy or approach, and also what we aim to achieve or to deliver at the end of our project. So the why of our project is basically to address the growing demand for skilled professionals in the decarbonization of the Europe's heating and cooling sector. How we will achieve that? We will combine industry skills with academic expertise in a comprehensive digital learning platform to ensure cutting-edge and practical learning. So we will deliver an accessible, market-responsive education to empower individuals and organizations to drive the sustainable change in this vital industry. Who we are in the DHC Academy? We are 12 partners around Europe, Belgium, Estonia, Germany, Italy, and the coordinator of the project is Euroheat and Power. So this consortium is formed by 4 labor market actors, 8 education and training providers, 6 higher education institutions, and 2 vocational educational training providers. Here in the map, you have a geographical overview of our partners. We have in Belgium, Euroheat and Power, Daikin, KLUEB, Germany, we have HAVC. Then we have in Sweden, Hashtag University, Lund University, HeatNet Global. We have also in Estonia, Taltech. Then in Italy, we have the Politecnico of Torino, Opti, Executi, and Ritium. So the DHC Academy is designed as a comprehensive ecosystem to build the future of workforce of the district heating and cooling through collaboration, training, and innovation. So first we have the DHC Academy Alliance, that is a long-term partnership that brings together enterprises, research institutions, vocational education providers, and university. So this cross-sectoral alliance is the foundation of our efforts. Then there is the DHC Academy platform that is a digital ecosystem created especially to support stakeholder engagement, collaborative course design, and effective teaching and learning experience. Then we have for hands-on training, we are building a vocational educational training program that this will include a full catalog of courses aligned with the industry needs. And finally, we will have a higher education study program that will have around 20 modules. We expect to test this with 400 students, so helping to equip the next generation of engineers, planners, and energy experts. So to start our work in the DHC Academy, we started with the industry skill demand. For that, we did a stakeholder mapping in order to involve in our assessment of the skill demands all the key players in the sector. We are right now doing some individual interviews to that key stakeholders. We are gonna do around 30 interviews. And right now we are doing this online workshop in order to help us to cover this skill demands mapping. So we are in the middle of the process. After that, we are gonna continue with our assessment, and finally we will have a report around September. So now I give the floor to Dominique Ruth, that he will talk about skills for DHC. Thank you. Unmute, Dominique. Sorry.
Mistake as always. Many thanks for the kind introduction, and to you, Connie, for the organization, as well to your colleagues at Euroheat and Power, and for setting up this workshop. So I'm presenting a few slides as an introduction to the Skills for DHC project. I see that there's also some project partners of our project present in this workshop. So welcome also here in this workshop. The map here shows you the target countries, but also the replication country, which is Poland in our case, and the supporting countries. So we have your hidden power, also part of the consortium. WRP is the coordinator of the project. And then we have Plan Energie AGFW, which is the German District Heating Association, the Dutch District Heating Association, ENAHAC from Estonia, Politecnico, the university in Milan, the Irish District Heating Association, and IINTEC as part of the consortium. And we're working together to develop training programs which are very specific to the target groups. I think that's the strength of our project. So you see, we have an overall training program called A, that's the Transnational DHC Academy Training Program, so similar naming as the DHC Academy project, which is more like on the European level and which is also supposed to provide input to the more specific training programs. Then we have the program B, that's for the white-collar professionals and the authorities. We have the academia, so the bachelor, master, PhD, and postgraduate students that we cover in this program. We have the blue collar training program, and then as a special activity, so to say, we also have a trainee recruitment program in order to mobilize people going into the DHC sector and working there. As you can also see, these 6 flags demonstrate the target countries where we focus our activities. And one more concept or advantage of our idea is to work very closely with training providers together to develop the programs and to really contribute to the implementation on the long term of the training programs in the target countries and beyond. So what we are going to do is to develop the training programs, to test and validate them together with the training providers, our stakeholders. And then the main aim is that they take it up, they sustain the training programs, they keep them going on even beyond, of course, the lifetime of the project. And we also aim to replicate what we are doing in other European countries. So the impact would be then in total 13 schemes and a lot of pilot training activities, trained trainers, 120. Then within the frame of the pilot training courses, also a number of professionals that are actually trained by the project. But as I said, the target is after the lifetime of the project to really establish the training courses. Also some persons recruited, operators with strengthened capacity, and in total, more than 200 jobs created. So these are our indicators that we are trying to fulfill in the project. And I'm not going too much in detail here. So in a summary, like we are in the process of developing the training programs at the moment. Our project is more than half a year old, so to say. So we are still somehow in between the starting phase and the real core work of our activities. And I think there's a lot of mutual work that we can do together with the DHC Academy project. I think there may be some kind of overlaps, but especially there is also some different things that Connie mentioned that we are trying to really use in order to strengthen overall the skills for the sector. And Christian is now going to present a specific work that we did in the project, and I give back the word to you, Connie, probably, or to Christian directly. I don't know.
Yeah, thank you for handing over. I think I will directly continue. Very warm welcome also from my side. We are work package leader at AE Intech for a work package that's dedicated to do a review of the skills and yeah gaps that are existing in the DHC sector. And I will shortly present some main findings that we could gain in this review. This was done individually in each country of the target countries shown before of the project. Um, Throughout yeah a broad range of levels of beginning from authorities down to DHC operators, which we want to especially address in the project. Um, yeah, with all kinds of research methods, all of this will also be published then in a deliverable and in a concise summary report that will also be available on the knowledge hub of Euroheat and Power. So what we could find out for the group of blue collar workers is this, that there is a need of all kind of professions, you could say, for installing the yeah additional equipment, plants and so on. So from welders, plumbers, fitters to electricians and so on, throughout all professions. As Dominic already mentioned, recruitment strategies are needed to get new employees, especially among young people. Usually, there's done training on the job in this sector, so it's a prerequisite, of course, also to have already experienced and personnel in the companies who could can do this. Yeah, and vocational training is needed. So, for instance, there is a new thing launched in Austria at the moment for a new apprenticeship dedicated for district heating technicians, Fernwärmetechniker, as it's called in German. But also trainers at companies need further training to do this training on the job, and yeah, practical illustrative materials are needed. So that's for the blue collar workers. For the group of white collar workers who are mostly academics, of course, or coming from higher technical schools, universities, there's a special need for more planners, energy managers, for instance, also for policy and regulatory experts on all levels again, so from entry to expert level. Yeah, here we need more interdisciplinary knowledge covering a broad field from technical over legal to economic aspects, and also especially tackling interface problems that are always existing because district heating sector is a very complex thing from yeah heating plants to customer relations and so on. So there are a lot of interfaces to be handled, and this is also something to be trained on. Of course, also digital and smart grid skills like AI tools emerging to help tackling the demands, and yeah, hands-on experience is especially needed. And we've got a result which is interesting, that especially for municipalities, there's special needs because they have their own way to doing things, and maybe also need therefore yeah a special way to approach them, for instance, to show examples in the neighborhood that it is working and how they do it, to convince them to also start DHC or yeah. So what is to say about the existing training landscape and still unmet needs? The training that is offered is often too sporadic and fragmented, so not really accessible, and too reactive. That means that it's not up to really thinking ahead, but only reacting on legal developments and so on, and too theoretical. So this practical hands-on approach is a bit missing. Special challenges are to somehow launch suitable subsidies also for the training offers to get it more affordable for, especially also for smaller companies and communities, and to standardize the qualifications and this training offer. So yeah, of course, yeah, the priorities are on heat planning and defossilization technologies, but also peer-to-peer learning and these practical aspects should be emphasized. And yeah, especially for this white-collar academic sector, partnerships with industries and companies would be very advantageous, because to have this hands-on approach again there, and to really know what is on the market and available to be used, and yeah, to get it working in praxis. Yeah, so just a few points on what are the specific characteristics of the partner countries where the service and interviews were done. This is only to show that there are some specific characteristics from country to country. It doesn't mean that the general tendencies are the same overall. But yeah, for instance, in Germany, there's a bit more demand for municipal and police training, while maybe, for instance, yeah, in Estonia, they are really into more advanced digital training, or yeah, Austria on this practical interdisciplinary training. So, but all in all, I think we can say that there's in general the same tendencies. And yeah, so the really main conclusions are that there are effective recruitment and retention strategies needed to get more personnel into the sector, and to retain also a personnel that's already there, able to be training new personnel, and of course to keep the knowledge in the sector. Yeah, there's a need for clear and continuous training programs addressing this too sporadic and fragmented finding. So this is also a goal of the Skills4DHC project to develop standardized core training curriculums that are adaptable to local context to cover this country-specific needs. Then, yeah, of course, foster this interdisciplinary learning and awareness of interface issues. And all in all, we could say that we should enhance access to training. On the one hand, to get it more accessible, especially for newcomers, smaller municipalities and companies, in terms of costs and also geographical availability, and then also this practical training. So mentoring, peer-to-peer learning, yeah, promote this industry academia collaboration approach, and for instance also crash courses on DHC basics to get new communities in touch with this technology, and to somehow available a further growth of the sector. Yeah, that's it for now from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. So now is the moment that we are gonna start our pool interactions. So as you can see here, you have a QR code. You can please scan the QR code and you will transfer to the Slido pool. You can also use the link that should be in the chat. Can we include also the link just in case? But normally with the QR code, you can scan it with your phone and there is no problems. So this is a round of 5 questions, that are focused on the skills for DSC findings. After replying all these 5 questions, we will have an open discussion. So also you may be, I mean, when you scan the QR code, you were asked to include your name. So I just want to highlight that this is only for the purpose of the assessment. So yes, so this is the first question. In which country is your company located? We have 15, 16. We are in total in the meeting, 20, around 26 participants. So, and we have still some time to answer this question. I think we can move to the next question. So this question is, which of the following categories best describe your company? You can choose up to 2. We can move to the next question. What type of workforce is most likely in the DHC sector in your country? Also, please select up to 2. Team vote, we should have 19. So please. Next question, please. So this is how accessible are suitable education and training offer in your region. So please scan from 1 to 5. So you may have some stars. So you can 5 stars is the best, super accessible. The next question is which training offer or initiative is most urgently needed? Here is an open text So, and it will appear like a workload. Sector coupling. We have one person typing, so just few seconds and we move forward. Okay, so now we move to Matteo Pozzi. I give you the floor for moderation of this discussion, open discussion.
Thank you very much. Thanks everyone for the interesting insight that you put. Of course, as Connie said, this is a workshop. We are, of course, we want everyone to be aware of what is going on, but we are actually gathering information from you on what are the needs that you feel most urgent to meet the challenges of this industry. So the way to move on is really for you to raise your hands. You're actually allowed to speak up, so you just need to unmute your mic in case. I would ask everyone who has anything to say to actually please come ahead. Any comment will be welcome. I would suggest to go back to the tag cloud, which I think collects a lot of insights regarding what is needed. And please raise your hands just for me to I mean, not to overlap, but I believe that there's a lot more that can be said, and we are very happy. Would be very happy to get that. Maybe just a point, a comment from my side as we enter this discussion. It's going to be about 10 minutes, not very long, but and in case there is a lot of interaction required, there will be eventually some space at the end to get input from those who didn't manage to enter the discussion. My only comment is that out of about 20 people who responded to the poll, only one said that accessibility to training is very high, and high or very high was actually less than 15%, which means that there is a gap that we are right to face. I scanned through the list of people who are present in the room. I understand there are a few manufacturers and a few operators. So if there is anything that you think is particularly relevant on setting up schemes to upskill and create an accessible workforce for this industry, this is a good time to speak up. Of course, any specific reaction to the findings of the Skills4DHC is very welcome in particular. Jan-Erik, please.
Yeah, hello, Matteo. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I think what is extremely important for our sector, district heating, district cooling, is to understand what role the sector is playing, let's say, in the future energy system, and that is actually where it starts. So I think that is important to have this story at hand, because otherwise it's hard to grow the sector. I think there's a lot to learn if we go into all the different details that has already been very well, let's say, addressed in the previous presentations. But we should just also not forget the big picture, because that is actually what will drive the development and implementation of district heating and cooling system. So I think I would like to give a comment on that here initially.
Yeah. Maybe a question from me to you. When you speak about role of the sector, and I also couple that with the item that in the TAC Cloud stands up, which is sector coupling. You mean also the role of district heating as a balancing mechanism in the overall energy system, or anything else?
Yeah, exactly. So we want to come to a renewable-based energy system, and thermal systems, say district heating, district cooling, can play a great role there. So that's like one important dimension. Low temperature is a very important dimension. And of course, that factors into substations, network designs, a lot of things. Digitalization, the ability to control this complex system with many sources, many things, those kind of things. I mean, the fourth generation of district heating, the awareness of that.
Okay, excellent. Thanks. I see Dominic also has
yeah, short remark. I fully agree with what Jan-Erik said. I think this is very important, because like on the one side, we need new systems or extension of systems, the operation of systems, therefore we need the workforce. And on the other side, we need the suitable framework that is generating somehow the market, and then at the third level we need the skills. Therefore, yeah. So both projects focus on the skills. I think blue collar and the planning skills, these are probably the most important ones, or the ones which are really lacking. But what is not so much addressed, at least in Skills4DHC project so far, is the politicians. And I speak here about the politicians at national level who are creating the frameworks. Yeah? We have some kind of movement, for example, in Germany at the moment with the new government. So let's see how this develops. But without good framework conditions, it's difficult. And we need also the politicians at the local level, those who are making decisions whether, for example, a district heating network can be done or not. So those politicians somehow need to be, I don't know, trained, or they need to have the understanding that DHC is very important. And that's what Jan-Erik said, that the role of this sector, and I think that is very important, whether this is in the frame of trainings or courses, or in I don't know, a public general campaign. I don't know yet. Yeah, but without the politicians, I think this is difficult to move forward in the sector in the different countries which have their own local and national policies.
I cannot agree more. I mean, the situation in Italy, there are quite a few Italian people in this room. And we all know that the potential of district heating and cooling is very much undermined by the fact that the regulatory level doesn't seem to see district heating as an opportunity for the country to face the transition towards more just decarbonized and local-based economy, and that's a main issue for the structural development and the norms of regulation, financing, etc. From what I see, and I think that Skills4DHC is correctly addressing this part. I also seem to detect a very large need for professionals who are capable of acting at the building level in order to make sure that the substation works fine, that the delta T is kept at good levels. This is difficult because most likely it doesn't address only or mainly the big operators who have a workforce and can in fact have the resources to improve it, but very often goes and touches the very small players or even individuals who work in the market, who are called by the buildings to actually maintain equipment, and sometimes they don't have a clue of what they're doing, and they may be doing things wrong. I think this is another major aspect which I'm starting to acknowledge as we go into this project. Actually, any view on this would be good. But funnily enough, I think that the expertise within district heating and cooling operators tends to be quite high. Most likely, it is the other stakeholders that may require most of training, and of course this starts from the awareness of needing training, which may be not an easy task for our projects, but nevertheless crucial to ensure that this industry thrives and plays the roles that we all hope it will play. Time is flowing, so I'm not too worried if nothing else is there to be said. But if there is a last comment from any of the participants, maybe this is a good time. And if it's not, I hope that this will happen later. So I guess I may carry on. I see I'm already in charge of the slides. So we've gone through the discussion, and let's deep dive into some aspects that the DHC Academy project is actually looking at in more details. I think we may all agree, and please take a note and intervene in the discussion later in case what I say doesn't find you totally in line. I think we all believe that this market and our sector and this industry should grow in order to meet the demands of Europe and potentially global evolution of the transition. This is driven by lots of technology advances, and there is a struggle to keep up with what is emerging in the sector. Most likely not only to understand the technology, but to understand the maturity of the technology, which is complex, in order to make sure, because companies need not only pilot projects, but they need to go at scale. And this means that there is an evolution in the life cycle of companies in testing new technologies, but then bringing them to full deployment at large scale. And of course, this is driven by sustainability and carbon reduction and climate change goals, which are very demanding. It looks like 25 years may be a long time span, but for an industry like ours, this is actually very short, especially if the objective is to come to some kind of full decarbonization, which is very, very complex. And this is why, as a project, we believe it's important to work both at higher education and vocational education and training, which to us is very much how to make sure that youngsters, as they choose their course of study, choose the right university and choose the right course. I mean, a decent and good number of young talents will decide to invest in their education to become professional in this industry. This has a lot to do with awareness of the opportunities, the role, and in a way also the glamour of being in an industry that may be seen, may have been seen in the past as pretty traditional, but in fact is growing and developing quite quickly. And as I said, this doesn't complete the picture, because we also need people on the field, people who get their hands dirty, and these most likely may not go through the higher education, meaning academic and universities, but will have to, coming from professional studies and training, need to acquire all the skills to be able to work proficiently and effectively at all the levels of the value chain. So the skill gaps can be covered by companies across a range of strategies. Of course, recruitment. We believe that the one of the easy way to ensure growth can be met is to hire people who have the skills and the mindsets and the potential to become excellent professionals within the companies. The recruitment is the first phase, but then it comes to training and bringing these people to be, and these resources to being effectively proficient. And we all know how the gap between what you study at university and what you actually need at work can be, there's a gap that needs to be bridged. The learning curve can be very high, and this learning curve is effectively requires support, which we think we need to be able to provide. And then there is, as people get experience, get their way into their companies, maybe migrate from one company to another, increasing their know-how and their professional profile. Nevertheless, in the modern world, the need for upskilling remains absolutely necessary. No one of us is now working with the skills that we acquired at university. We all came through building a professional profile because at some point new skills were acquired, either on the job, most likely on the job, but sometimes also through training programs, and the upskilling of existing resources remains a very important aspect. And then I believe we all understand that we are going through a transition that will require skills that may not even be totally known today. And in order to support this industry, this will be very, very important. So as a DHC Academy, I think that there are, of course, technical skills, but we also identified a number of areas of skilling and reskilling that need to be tackled, namely digital, green, resiliency, and general skills. I will give a brief introduction to what we mean by this, mostly to make sure that as you go through the slide, Paul, later, you can respond in what you think is the most effective way. And of course, as we said before, the slide will only be part of the interaction, because in case you feel you were not able to express your views regarding these aspects, there will be the open discussion. So when we speak about technical and operational skills, we speak about everything that is needed to understand the technologies and the processes. And looking at processes, we know that it really goes from across a wide range of skills that starts from allocating the funds for projects at the public sector, to strategic planning, which is currently very important as most companies go through transition, but then also all the construction, design, and commitment of assets, be them smart or less smart, but nevertheless they need to be put in the ground, and then operate them, maintain, and make sure that the service is delivered. This is normally quite well covered, but we know that in an evolving world that this needs constant updates, and most likely one of the big novelties in the sector is what falls in the area of digitalization and being able to exploit data, which of course starts from designing support tools, but also actually acquiring the information from the field, monitoring the state of the system, understanding whether the system is working correctly or not, possibly going towards a higher automation of the system. And this is most likely done through advanced tools that range from digital twins, simulation optimization tools, and I believe that this new breed of assets is really changing the way this industry is moving, and most likely analytics and artificial intelligence will play a higher and higher role as we go forward. So we'll be glad to understand what is your view regarding this part. Another aspects and perspective that needs to be managed is the decarbonization and greening of this industry imperative, which starts from the knowledge and understanding at global, regional, and local level of regulation and policies, understand what technologies can contribute to making DHC systems more efficient, what decarbonization strategies can be applied, how to act on existing assets, which most normally is not the same thing as creating or expanding assets with new technologies. And I would also not forget the waste heat recovery aspect, which has a very large untapped potential. As we go forward into the aspects that we think and identified from the proposal phase as crucial, there's the resiliency. Maybe this is a bit less mainstream, but we all know that security and robustness of our systems is crucial. In a way, there is a reliability that aspect that needs to be covered at all time, and this may need to be facing potentially higher risks as we go forward. Not only technical risks, but we see the impacts of extreme meteoric events. We see the impacts of energy fluctuation, and this goes into adopting strategies that increase the resiliency, which go into the risk assessment and management. And lately, with the introduction of the higher automation and role of digital aspects, this is expanding from physical infrastructure protection to cybersecurity, which may play a big role in this industry development. And finally, but not less important, in my opinion, but I'm curious to see your view on this. We also believe that there is a general important need for general and soft skills. People that get hired are normally selected for their technical skills. They're also recruited in view of their potential as good professions, but not every new professional has a very wide and strong and complete training on all these general skills that range from project management, communication, stakeholder engagement. I may even go into the marketing and sale aspect, because engaging the customer is a big issue. There is teamwork and leadership, how to handle yourself within the company, how to tackle problems, how to question issues in order to find new improvements, and obviously being able to assess investments, understand the economics. So apart from the specific skills, the growth of this industry will also require a lot of general and soft skills that may need to be easily accessible to players. So now we are challenging you on and getting your view regarding these aspects. But for your information, be aware that the outcome of this will not only be transformed into curricula, but we are actually trying to make sure that our action can be scaled up. And this will be done through the concept of the alliance that Connie already mentioned before, together with a digital platform that should become an enabler to actually make sure that not only the curricula that will be developed during the project, and potentially also from Skills4DHC, which is already acting as a sort of early adopter of whatever is going to be developed during the project. But we understand that there will be the need for a capillary, local, and regional action that allows more players to become part of this game. And a lot of the effort on the project will be to try to make sure that through this alliance and through the enablers of this alliance, we will be able to really create something that is capable of supporting and tackling the skill gap at European level and potentially more. So I see some comments, and I welcome getting those comments, but I will leave them for the discussion later. Now, what I would like Ty to do is go back to the Slido and go through a very quick poll that will try to capture your views regarding the 4 areas that I mentioned before. The Slido is the same as before, meaning you don't need to connect to another pointer, but now let's try to play with it and capture what this room is thinking about what I said before. The first poll is on the digital part. Which digital skills should or you think the DHC Academy should prioritize? You may rank it from top priority to least important, so that I mean, we capture what you think is most important for.
Yes,
or
in
most
this
needed
case,
from the side.
yes, in this case, 1 is the top priority, and 5 is the less important, 6 is the less important.
See, only 8 people have responded, but I understand it takes a bit.
There is 3 people typing, so we have time for this. Okay,
Yeah.
2 typing, so I will wait
Let's
10
finish up with
seconds.
this.
Okay, so now we can move to the next question, please. So, which is green skills should the DHC Academy prioritize in its curriculum? It's the same. So, 1 is the top and 6 is the least important.
Okay.
One people typing, and there's 14 votes. There, okay, so we can move to the next question. It's about resiliency skills, the same. So do they prioritize in order the top priority and the least important, please?
Is it only me, or I'm finding it? It's not selecting the second point.
No.
I mean, normally okay. That's I'm finding a problem with the.
11 votes. We need a few more. One person typing, so we can yes. So yes, the last poll in this session is about the general and soft skills. So please do the same. Do the rank top priority 1, the less important 6. Someone's typing. One person typing. Okay, so thank you everyone for your participation. And now, Mateo, we can move to the open discussion. Of course.
Okay. I looked at, of course, I was busy also trying to give my responses, so I didn't probably look too much into the outcome, but maybe I would ask Ty to go back to the results so that we can eventually comment them briefly. I see Dominic stating, and I'm looking at the general the Q&A. that says for general and soft priorities, something in the line of awareness and understanding of DHC amongst local and national politicians, as was said before. Yes, I believe this is definitely one of the priorities, and I already commented on this, and that this will be captured in the deliverables. So when we look at digital, I see that there is a pretty. I think the only real finding of this poll is that maybe there is a less of a need for transactional standard tools and a pretty high and equal or similar importance of tools that go through the various steps of the analytics. I think it's interesting that by a small margin, data collection and monitoring wins mostly, I think, because people, first of all, want to be able to access their data and see what's going on in the field. There is an comment, especially from players who do this as in their day-by-day job. Of course, it's going to be very welcome. As I said before, please raise your hands and don't. I mean, in the end, we are not that many, so that there can be space for every comment to be held here. If I don't see particularly interventions, I will move on. Okay. Ty, can you go to the next step, please? Okay, regarding green skills, I believe there's I mean, I believe it's difficult to say that any of these is not important. Again, interesting, the slight advantage for renewable sources, waste heat recovery technologies. Technological aspects are very crucial in order to meet the decarbonization strategy goals, and it is obvious that being able to assess how new technologies can play a role in the setting is important. I see that a few people have actually mentioned other. So if anyone want to say what is the other that they thought about, maybe we can try to factor this in this analysis. I don't know who did that, so please don't feel shy and feel free to join in. Okay, there is no big comment. I think we can move on to the next step. Resiliency. Interestingly, diversification strategy and climate change adaptation seems to be pretty strong, while, for instance, redundancy investment assessment, which to me is very much linked to this. But one thing is to understand how to handle the system in general, and one other aspect is to create backups, understand what backups could be managed. I find interesting also that physical infrastructure protection and cybersecurity is maybe slightly less recognized as an important aspect, which may also be in line with the current maturity of the digital aspects in companies. Let's hope that this remains low, because it means that no big disruptions will have occurred in the coming months. I mean, as member of the digital industry, I'm aware of the big efforts that everyone is making to make sure that this works fine. Any comment on this? Looks like there is no big additional aspects. Okay, let's move on to the next. And I'm actually happy of what I see here, because I also thought that the communication, stakeholder engagement, and marketing and sales was the most important aspect that needs to be covered. Being able to speak to the the customers and engage with the politicians or make sure that district heating and cooling is perceived as it is as a technology can really contribute. I think is potentially more important than the practicalities of making it, building it up. We will analyze these questions and maybe these answers and try to make the most out of them. Maybe as we move on with the discussion, what I may ask you explicitly, which is not in the poll, but we can tackle this as just speaking up, is we focused on green digital resiliency in general, but what is your ranking or what is to you the most important? And we didn't do any poll on technical because that would have been very wide and maybe difficult to discriminate. What is, in your view, the most relevant and missed and lacking aspect in today's training landscape? Of course, we mentioned the areas that we think are characterizing the development of this sector, but most likely you have your own idea of what will really change, create a disruption and is required to make a step change in the development of the system. Can you please speak up and say what your personal ranking is? I see someone has intervened on the chat saying impact investment is particularly important.
Perhaps just a sentence, like I think really like what is critical is the awareness among the public, among the politicians and so on, that district heating and cooling in a modern way is really a key technology that could help us to improve the district heating and cooling sector overall, because which is like around 50% of the energy demand. I think there is still, like, if I talk to people in my neighborhood about district heating, yes, could be, but well, what is the advantage? Then you create dependencies and so on. But this awareness that this is really could be, like, among others, but one of the key solutions that's very important.
Mm-hmm.
So that matches with like I think the previous slide where it was said like this awareness rising and so on.
Yeah, in a way, I think that awareness would require, rather than, it's other common understanding of the role of the industry. So we would go back to school education, even meaning youngsters, people, citizens should know that this technology is one of the many that will help us build a better world.
We also need, perhaps, we also need like professionals that are really professionals in communication, in marketing, to make the marketing for the sector.
Yeah.
Then the question is like, who will pay them? Or what's their mandate? But I think this is needed in many countries, whether they have more the old traditional district heating sector or the sector is not yet developed. Different strategies may apply.
Yeah.
Because we tend, we tend to talk about, of course, technologies and skills for technologies and so on. But this soft skill training is important, but as I said, someone needs to somehow pay for them in the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I very much agree, and I think that right now, the effort would be on the utilities that want to create the local market to have a role. But if left alone and if not helped by the institutions, this may be a very big burden, and it's easy to just, settle in a status quo or just accept slow growth rate, while maybe the potential is much higher. I think this is a big issue. Not easy to tackle at the pure training aspects, and it may be a good piece of advice on what the meaning of this alliance may try to make. I see Connie speak about lobbying.
Yeah, that's something that I would agree to, and that's into direction of lobbying, maybe. But yeah, for instance, in Austria, we have some kind of associations of operators that somehow play this role partly. For instance, there's the Biomass Association that is having an own group for operators of biomass district heating plants that have their own speaker covering this lobbying maybe for this sector, but only in this biomass field, let's say. And the general district heating and cooling sector, and also transformation of it and covering all together is still not really done like in like a kind of lobbying for authorities, or to bring this also appropriately in mind into the authorities. That's what needed, I think. So yeah. And of course, this is always a problem of how to finance it.
It gets there. I'm aware. I mean, the case of Italy, for instance, is that the National Association actually has really a handful of people that work for it, and maybe just a couple of them is full time. And therefore, it becomes really difficult to have an impact at this level. But I pretty agree that this is crucial for the development of the sector, and to actually make sure that this sector fulfills its potential and mission in the energy transition that we are facing. Any other comment on this? Otherwise, we can move on smoothly. I see now Kevin saying, agree with Dominic, ref. Need for increasing the marketing and the technology and benefits. In Ireland, this time, the DHC sector is virtually non-existent. People and government are risk adverse, especially in relation to multi-million euro type of projects like this. A shopping list for all costs for a DHC project does not exist, so the final requirement investment cost is unknown. Okay, again, a lot of awareness raising requirement, which I think it's a very interesting message and somewhat unexpected, not really unexpected in general terms, but this push on this as a key factor may inspire some thinking and hopefully some creative thinking when we set up the alliance. Okay, as I said, time is flowing, and I don't think that we need to exceed the time that we are given. There is now a last very quick poll, which is for everyone to just say what you may not have had the courage to say, or you are not. It's sort of a wish list for what the DHC Academy and Skills4DHC and the collective movement of trying to contribute to the growth of this industry from a soft and human resources standpoint may mean. So Please go back for the last time to your Slido poll and type in any smart idea that you think should be covered in the effort that so many players and partners and experts are going to be concentrating on the next 2 to 3 years, so that we can take into account your input and hopefully we shall be able to provide some impactful responses to this, which of course is not only the European funded project's objective, but in fact very much in the pure mission of European Power and DHC Plus, which I have the luck to represent and support. So please take a couple of minutes to type in your personal stance on what you would really like to happen, that where the C Alliance may help.
Yes, and we have 5 minutes for this poll, so take your time. Or person typing, so we're gonna wait. I think we can, well, we have one person typing if you are fast enough. So, okay, so we have 3 minutes left. So yes, we can move to the last part. So here I want to highlight what is next regarding these two projects. So we have the European Power Congress in June, so in Prague. So there will be a special session on skills where Dominique, the coordinator of Skills4DHC, and Atsana, the coordinator for DHC Academy, are gonna present a session that will focus on bringing the skill gaps of the DHC sector. So if you also are planning to come to the HP conference, please don't lose this opportunity, because there will be also an assessment with a QR code where you will be able also to give some input in this respect. Also, there will be the report from the Skills4DHC results on the assessment that they did, and this will be available in the Skills4DHC website and also in the Knowledge Hub from the ESP website. The same for the DHC Academy, but as we are still working on the assessment of the skill gap from our side, so this we expect to have the report of the assessment by the mid of August. So if there is nothing else to add, Mateo, I think we can move. So yes, this is an invitation for the Congress. So that, as I said, will be in June in Prague. So if you didn't register, but you are very interested in the heat transition in action, please don't lose this opportunity to participate in this great conference. So yes, Mateo, well, thank you.
I just want to thank everyone for being today with us. I hope that being aware of this opportunity will actually foster your participation in the months to come. Keep in touch, follow us, and as things progress and you see the first outcomes, the first courses, etc., do participate. Help us refine them. Help us do something which really has an impact. I think today's discussion brought up a few instances which will increase us focus on the right aspects on as we face these 2.5 years of work, and let's make it fruitful and worthy. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Dominique, do you have last few words?
No, many thanks to you all, and looking forward to the cooperation among the two projects especially, and of course to receive inputs whenever possible, whenever there is something from all stakeholders, people that are interested in this topic.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Christian.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.